So we'll start off with the most obvious one that people talk about. Is there ever going to be a Half-Life 3? That's what people care about the most. Is there ever going to be a Half-Life 3? And Gabe Newell has talked about it a few times on whether or not it'll ever happen. And I remember in an interview he has said that the reason why Half-Life 3 hasn't come out yet is because he feels that if they make a Half-Life 3, then people are just going to compare it to Half-Life 2 or try to criticize it. Like, they're going to spend more time criticizing the game than actually enjoying it. He said something like that he's afraid that if he releases Half-Life 3, if they actually make it, then people are just going to be disappointed in the game, which I find to be a very, very weird response. I mean, we all know that's not the real reason why there's no Half-Life 3. The real reason why there's no Half-Life 3, or a 3 of anything, really, but has mostly to do with the fact that Valve makes so much money as it is from Steam that they don't need to release new games. It doesn't... Even if they release Half-Life 3 tomorrow, right? Or they announce it at E3 this year, whatever it may be, and it comes out and it ends up becoming one of the best-selling games of all time, right? Let's just say hypothetically that happens. If that happens, which, who knows, maybe it could. If that happens, though, it's still going to be just a small dent in Valve's profits. They don't need to make another Half-Life game. They don't need to make another game of anything. So with Half-Life 3, is Valve ever going to make a Half-Life 3? I would like to say that they're never going to do it, honestly. I might be wrong, but I don't think that out of all of the series that Valve has, I really think that Half-Life 3 is probably the least likely game that they're going to release because they just don't see a reason to do it. And I would be surprised if it ever happened. Really, I would. And if it did come out, who knows? Maybe Gabe Newell will be right and people would bitch about it. I don't know. I think the game is probably going to break sales records, though, for them because it's one of the most anticipated games of all time. People just, you see it on the comments of any game-related video. Half-Life 3 confirmed. You know that fucking meme. And it's to the point that, I mean, from a business standpoint, making Half-Life 3 would make a lot of sense. And considering the new technology, the game would actually be a lot more enjoyable, I think, than when it came out in, the original one came out in, 2004, whatever it was, and the second one came out in, 2007, right? So with the new technology, they can really make a good game for Half-Life. I think they could end up making a really good game, but I don't think that they will. The reason why Sony makes their own games has to do with not actual sales of the game. They don't care about the actual game selling. I mean, they do, obviously, but they're not making first-party games for the game itself to make them money. They're looking for people to be attracted by their first-party lineup of games to buy the console, which would make them money in turn because the more people that own the console makes them more money because of the PlayStation Store and all that stuff. So that's really why Sony and other companies, or console companies really, that's why they have first-party games. So you look at that and you look at Valve, and Valve just makes too much money because Steam is really the number one player in PC gaming, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So do they really have a reason to release another game at all? Never mind a sequel, but another game at all? They don't need to. They really don't need to. So I don't really see Half-Life 3 happening ever. I know a lot of people are still having their hopes up, people who really enjoyed Half-Life, thinking there's going to be a third one. I don't think there is. I really don't. But hey, stranger things have happened in the industry. More impossible things have happened, so I could be completely wrong. And E3 this year, I'm going to look back at this video and think of myself as a total fucking fool. But who knows? I mean, it's possible. I would give it I don't know, maybe a 10% chance of happening. But I'm going to go with my gut on this one, saying that we're not going to see it.